All right, what's going on, y'all? Corpus Christi Originals back at it again, coming to you live from the Produce Streamlab Studios, downtown Corpus Christi, Texas, at Produce Sound Studios here on People's Street. Thanks a lot, you guys, for joining. Today we got Susheria in the house. What's up, man?
What's up? How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Otherwise known as Derek, right?
Or I've been getting a lot lately. Mr. Susheria. Actually, that's been a thing lately, which is kind of funny. Actually, I do randomly get recognized out when I'm out and about, which is interesting. So,
Mr. Susheria, yeah, like the Mr. Corpus Christi Originals.
Yeah.
Right on, bro. Yeah, so we know each other from Del Mar back in the day, bro.
Yeah, almost 20 years.
20 years or so.
Because I started at Del Mar 2005.
Yeah.
So yeah, close to 20 years. It's wild.
Yeah. Did you finish? Did you get your degree? Or?
No, I didn't. Life happened, and I kind of realized that pursuing a music degree was not something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Mr. Lippman kind of called me out because I was actually a major music theory and composition. And he asked me one day, he says, "You like living off of food stamps? Because as a music theory and comp major, that's what you're going to be doing." And I'm like, man, maybe I don't want to do that.
Whoa, dude, he brought you that. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe that dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he was wild, man.
Wow, dude. Man, that dude was awesome too, bro.
He was, yeah.
He was awesome in his own way. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Awesome clarinet player. I've seen him play before. Have you seen him play? Oh,
yeah, he's good, man. He's great.
Yeah, and then like he brought like a Jewish psalm one time. He was like singing it or reading it, you know, because he's like Jewish. He's like a Jewish.
I think so.
Jewish, right? Like that. Talking about like he went to Israel one time or whatever. Oh man, his class, dude. Sorry, Mr. Lippman, but damn, that class was boring, bro.
It was tough too. It was hard to get through.
I think he was reading through the book the whole time, bro.
Yeah,
like, yeah, right.
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah. From where I remember when I was there, I didn't go to the class very often. Honestly, that was part of my thing. I would skip a lot, so that's probably why I didn't do so well.
Yeah. Oh, right on. Yeah, dude. I just want to mention, dude. Every time I saw you, you were always like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" You know, just real cool, cool with me. You know what I mean? Even though we didn't really know each other, but you were just like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And because I mean, there was some people I mean, just me in general as a person. Some people are just they kind of like he's weird or whatever.
Right.
But you the way you were towards me, I always remember that, bro. Like even though we didn't know each other like that well, I was just like, that's how I remember you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just talking about stuff you're talking about just before air. Like I'm like, I don't know you like that. I know you guys. Hey, what's up, Jesus? You know, and just pass by. And you're an awesome bass player, dude.
Thanks, man.
Man. Yeah. So you're in 3 bands now?
I'm in 3 bands now. Yeah. So I still play with the Independent Thieves and playing with them for I think officially about 10 years now. Because I remember when I first started playing with them, one of the guys, David, his wife was pregnant with their little one, Violet, and she just turned I think maybe 10 or she's about to be 10. So yeah. So she wasn't even born when we started playing. Now she's running around. And, but yeah, so I play with them. I play with National Nobodies, and I just started a new project with Celeste from the Chain Links called Indiglo. So indie music, which is pretty fun. I'm pretty excited about it.
Right on. Garrett Graham says, my man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he wanted me to throw him a shout out. I guess you know.
Yeah.
Eric's good people. I love Eric. I love Eric. He's fun to play. He actually played at one of my sushi classes one time, and it was really nice. Good ambient, a vibe in the background. So really cool. So,
dude, I've been wanting to check out one of them classes. So what is one of those classes entail? Like if somebody goes to it.
The biggest thing with me doing them is kind of getting my food in front of people, right? So they can expect to have my food, my version of sushi, but they get two different rolls with 2 different styles of rolls. I guess one with rice on the inside, one with rice on the outside. It takes about an hour. Everybody leaves with their own sushi rolling mat, their own reusable chopsticks, and since I've been doing them at the Asian Museum, they get to hang out at the Asian Museum and walk around and check it out. So
wow. Yeah, getting your food in front of people. It's definitely something that nobody else is doing. I don't think here in town, right?
I don't think so, no. I had a friend, one of my good buddies, longtime friends from middle school. He's done sushi pretty much right out of high school. And he did sushi in Austin. He did sushi in LA and in New York. And when I showed him what we were doing, he says he's never seen anything like it, you know. So, I mean, from East Coast to West Coast, you know, to South Texas, like I think it's safe to say I'm really probably the only one doing what I'm doing exactly.
That's cool.
I've seen variations of it, like at certain restaurants, right? You know, where they have beef inside of it or chicken inside of it, but it's regular white rice with their traditional sushi toppings, but not exactly how I'm doing it with the with the Spanish rice.
Okay, so I was gonna say, so can you describe like a little bit of describe what it is? How do you describe what it is?
So that's something with marketing, right? Like I've struggled with trying to figure out how to market it right. Do I say it's, you know, like elevated Tex-Mex food or Mexican food with the twist, sushi with the twist? And I did struggle with calling it sushi for a very long time, right? Because I'm like doing what I do is it's sushi. But when you look at the definition of sushi, and I got with my buddy at the Asian Museum, she helped me kind of navigate that area. You know, like, is it sushi? But sushi is really all about the rice. Literal translation is is sour rice.
Wow.
So when I take that definition kind of with what I was doing, I made sure to treat it like I would treat it like regular traditional Japanese sushi rice. But I do also season it a little bit like Spanish rice, so you get a little bit of both worlds.
Wow. So Spanish rice in place of the white rice
Yep.
on the wrap.
Yeah.
And now the stuff that's inside traditionally for sushi is what, like seafood or something?
Yeah, so with traditional sushi, again, it's going to be seafood, raw fish, shellfish, tuna, salmon, eel, and then so I took those ideas and I'm like, all right, well, you know, if I want to do a food truck, I don't think I want to do any of that raw stuff on a food truck in South Texas, you know.
Yeah.
So the idea of taco meats, you know, was kind of a thing, and I'm like, I just throw taco meats in there and call it a day. Yeah,
that's cool. So you put the I guess the taco meats like the asada, basically, right? Do you put pork or chicken?
I do carne asada, cilantro lime chicken, pork al pastor.
Ooh, sounds good.
So yeah. So some of my favorite one, people come up and ask what my favorite one is. I do the asada with miso infused beans, some red cabbage, chipotle sauce.
Wow, damn, I want to try it already.
Yeah, man.
How's it going, Francesca? Thanks for joining in, Mama. Appreciate you. Yeah. So, what was I gonna say? So the names that you have on your menu. So like one of them is the kukui, right?
Yeah, the kukui. Yeah, that's my pork roll. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, man, what does Corpus love? Corpus loves, you know, the silly, the kind of over the top. And I think some of those names appeal to South Texas and Hispanic community and the community down here, you know. So those are kind of I try to be very specific with how I did it. Like the kukui is going to be my pork roll, the chupacabra is going to be my beef roll, and the lechuza is going to be my my chicken roll.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, so your truck is posted up on Everhart, right? What is it on Everhart?
No, not anymore. It used to be. Yeah, okay. I was next to Adelpho's for a little bit. Adelpho or Keenan from Adelpho's gave me a lead on the spot. They were looking for another food truck to hang out there with them.
Cool.
So I was there. I tried it out. It didn't work out as well as I had hoped. And then with the construction, I moving down there probably just a few weeks ago. You know, that realized it was a good time for me to move again.
Yeah. So how have the people responded, like, to your cuisine?
There's a lot of excitement about it, a lot of excitement and confusion, right? Because again, people hear sushi and they associate it with traditional sushi, right? The raw fish, the raw elements of things, you know. Early on, I did get a lot of people asking me, "Wait, you serve raw chicken?" And I'm like, "No, I can't serve raw chicken, man. I don't think there's anywhere in the world that you're gonna get to eat raw chicken. You know, like nobody's gonna serve you raw chicken." So that's where the struggle is, right? So I would say probably more often than not, I have people who are willing to try it, but there is a very small percentage of people that are like, "Oh no, I don't like sushi," you know. So then I gotta put on my best salesman, you know, face and try and give them the sales pitch, and eventually I wear them down to try it out, and you know, I've turned them into a fan, you know. But it takes a little bit sometimes.
Wow, you gotta kind of like you got to talk to him first about it. Okay.
Yeah,
it's not traditional.
No, not at all, right? There's not, I mean, again, you're looking at it, you see that it looks like sushi the way I played it sometimes, but then it's got that like street food appeal too, you know, where it's just like loaded with sauces and a bunch of stuff on it.
Right.
But then, you know, the rice is kind of, they're like, wait, is that Spanish rice? But it's sushi rice. And, but yeah, I mean, a lot of times, you know, if there's those hardcore people who are either allergic or just don't do sushi at all, they're like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. So,
yeah, right on. Yeah. So you've been at the art walk. Do you do like festivals, or I mean, is that where you do you post up most times?
Right now I went back to doing apartment complexes. I'm trying to get back into doing art walk. I set up at QBR. I'm actually doing QBR again next month for Smoke Walk again. I was doing farmers market. I just did a market in Rockport. So anywhere I can get in front of people, I'm not too picky these days.
Yeah, right on. It seems like you got to do that as a food truck. Just post up different places. Don't what I mean. Would you say that you kind of learned that recently? Because you just been stationed. You were just stationed at this one place, right,
Right.
for a while. Like, is it more difficult doing it that way as opposed to like going different places all the time?
I think for a well-established like food truck, someone who's doing more familiar foods,
Mm.
that's a good idea. With me, I need to be in front of people where there's foot traffic, because that's just the best way that people are gonna see what I'm doing.
Right, right, right. And yours is a so it's actually a trailer, right? So you pull your tray. It's a trailer, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
a
like an
trailer.
actual truck.
Yeah,
So I guess you call it a food truck anyways,
yeah.
right? Okay, okay. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, I gotta try it out. I gotta try that out. Yeah, that's cool, man. So, and how long have you been doing the sushiria? Or well, you started years back, right?
Yeah, so this is third year in business. First year with the original branding started off with the business partner. We were set up inside of a gas station,
Mm-hmm.
and we would jokingly call it gas station sushi. Which was
Are you
a
serious?
whole nother thing. Yeah, yeah. Like people just didn't want to try gas station sushi. But we're like, no, it's not your regular sushi. But yeah, we were inside Snappy's. It was interesting. It was nice having a kitchen. The idea for a food truck kind of didn't come later on until some rebranding happened with the business. But yeah, so going on 3 years total, 2 years with the food truck.
Yeah, so to have a food truck, you have, I mean, what type of, I know you got to have like a food handler's permit, obviously, right? Do you have to have like insurance for the food truck? I mean, what are some of the things that you have to go post up at somewhere, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
insurance is definitely necessary. The trailer needs to be functioning like a commercial brick and mortar kitchen, right? So like
Mm,
a kitchen at a food establishment.
like kitchen cops type thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I need to have a proper working vent hood. I need to have a proper working like the propane lines need to be in place. I need a hand wash sink, 3 compartment sink for my dishes.
Mm,
So again, everything that they're gonna hold a regular kitchen to, the food truck needs to have that as well.
right on. You got to keep that up to par. So have you tried gas or have you always done propane for the stuff that you make?
So initially, the first trailer that I got, very very tiny trailer,
Mm,
and there was barely enough room for the sinks in there, but made it work. Had a small table in there with an electric stove, very small electric stove, and it didn't really work the way that I was hoping. It needed
mm.
to work with the amounts of food that I was needing to cook. But yeah, so propane works pretty good. I like working with propane, and
I bet you that sucker gets hot,
it
dude.
gets really, really hot, especially when the trailer's not insulated. The AC works okay.
You got an AC in there?
But yeah, but once it's been sitting out in the heat, especially in the summertime,
Dude.
and that stove comes on, man, it's an oven in there.
Wow. So, well, you obviously got to use the heat to cook the meat, also, obviously. So, how much time do you use like prepping? We got to prep the rice, or
Yeah,
what
I
do you prep the
usually
most?
the rice takes the most prep. The rice takes a while because it's a whole process of washing washing rice with sushi rice. Even with traditional sushi, you got to wash the rice very very thoroughly.
No.
So that's where the stickiness actually on the sushi rice comes from, because you got to wash that starch off the rice,
Mm.
and then it gets nice and sticky once it's cooked. But yeah, that takes the most time. I mean, if I'm cooking a couple of batches of rice, it'll take me 3 or 4 hours to do a few batches of rice
Oh
once they're
wow.
washed and everything. So
Wow. And do you use like a distributor like here in town, or I mean HEB? Like, is that what you do for your food truck?
no, well, I use HEB, local meat markets. I
Mm.
use Bori Craft for my chicken, or the
Yeah.
Mexican
Okay.
meat market. Yeah, I love Bori, man. It's just the vibe in there is really cool. The guys that work there really Nathan's a great guy.
Yeah.
Super friendly, super clean. Doesn't smell like a meat market in there. I mean, I know
Wow.
it's normal, I guess, for meat markets to have that specific odor, because you're dealing with meats and raw meats and stuff. But it's super clean in there. I like it there a lot.
Whenever you go to like a store, like, and you like the people there, the owners or whatever, are you that person that will stay there even though their prices would go up or something like that?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. No, I mean, I support the people, that run the business more so than I say the product itself most of the time. That's
Mm.
why I like going to Bori. Like it's just, I mean, he's just great people
Yeah,
over there. So
that's cool. It's like the brand or the
yeah,
person that owns
yeah,
it is the person you're kind of doing business with.
right.
It's good, man. Wow. So you shop at Board, you get there at Board. Like, are you do food people? I don't know. Maybe this is a general question for food trucks, but like, and I talked to Alex. Alex from El
Yeah,
Vago
yeah,
was on here, and somebody was asking him how he cooks his brisket, and he's not giving any secrets away or whatever. Is that how you are, or
with the rice? Yes and no. Like, so like when I do my sushi classes, I do tell them how to cook the rice, but with like my specific ingredients and flavorings, like I'm like I have to get you to sign a non-disclosure before I go over this.
pay a little bit
yeah.
extra?
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm not too worried about sharing recipes if I have something, that I don't think is going to be a big deal sharing. So
Yeah, right on. You got the timer on there, so 15 minutes, right? About so. All right. This is a 15-minute mark, you guys. So, looking for somebody, a sponsor or somebody, if you would like to sponsor the show, this is the 15-minute mark where we can like sponsor your business or something like that, just to help keep this podcast going. Appreciate you guys. If you want to donate, you can find us on Cash App, Corpus Originals. Send a donation to help keep us in this lovely studio that we've got going on here. Shout out to Maya back there and Produce Sound Studios for letting us do this podcast in here. Man, so you still play bass? So what do you got? The 5-stringer, 6?
Yeah, 5-stringer. Yeah, I just bought another. Well, not just bought, but a few years ago, my recent purchase was a Schecter.
Schecter,
pretty solid.
really?
I love Schecter, man. I don't know what it is about Schecter. It feels comfortable.
Wow,
so comfortable.
You think like Warwick or one of those big?
I've never been a fan of Warwick. I've never been a fan of Warwick or traditional like Fenders. I don't know why I'm not being. But Schecter,
they're weird, aren't they?
They really are. Yeah.
I'm more of an Ibanez dude. Like, yeah, it just feels better.
It feels better. It feels comfortable. So my problem with like on Fenders for me on bass is the fret spacing. It just feels too
wide.
Big, yeah. So with Schecter, it's a little smaller, a little closer together, and I'm able to move around. I think a little more freely.
You prefer the 5 or the 4? I mean, you can do anyone.
I do 5. Yeah, I like 5 a lot. Four. I played on a 5-string for so long that when I was switched back to a 4, it felt a little foreign and weird to kind of get it make the adjustment. But
wow,
yeah,
yeah, that's what's up. So reading music, man, that's a big thing. What would you say? Like, so I guess we're shifting gears to like music talk. What do you think about music theory? Like, should all musicians learn it? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I think I was for it for a very long time, right? I was really like a stickler for it. I thought it was very, very, very important to know music theory, but I think there's a little bit it can go both ways. I mean, I don't think you need to know music theory to be a good musician, to be a great musician. I think it helps. If you're trying to develop your skills and take your skills to the next level, then I think the music theory part of it's going to help, learning the progressions and learning all your skills and your chords and things like that, like proper names and whatnot. But I don't think it's necessary to be a good musician, but I think it helps.
And jazz, you're a jazz bassist also, man. Golly. How do you get used to playing jazz? It's so weird.
I don't. That's one of the only I think genres of music that I still like. I feel like I freeze up, and as much as I did it at Del Mar with Mr. Irving, like I never got comfortable doing it. Like I can do it, but I feel comfortable doing it if I have some sheet music in front of me and a lead sheet in front of me where I know what my changes are, because it's overwhelming. It's almost like they're rules without having to follow any rules, but there's rules to it still. Like it's weird. Yeah. I took a jazz improv class with Rick Cortez one year, and it was one of the most insane things I had ever done. Like I can't do this. I don't understand it. It's a whole nother like music is a language in itself, right? But you dive into jazz theory, and that's a whole nother.
It's weird, dude. It's weird. Thing. And because you're trained classically, classical training there at Del Mar, Tamu or whatever, and then you go into a jazz and it's like all that's out of the window, right? Yeah. And you're like, dude, you have to train your mind to think in jazz. It's so strange, man. And then like keys and scales come so quickly just by one chord placement. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's 2-5, right? 2-5-1 is the basis or whatever. So if you go into another key or mode or whatever, how do you know you're in that one? You know what I mean? You got to do it so much. Yeah. I think
you got to trust your ear. That's the hard part. That's one of the things that I'm getting a little more comfortable doing recently, is trusting my ear, trusting, where my hands want to move naturally. But with jazz, it's just easy to overthink. For me, at least, I overthink it way too much. Wow. Way too much.
Are you to the point where, like, if you hear a note, you can play it somewhere?
Sometimes, and I'm not like, again, it comes to trusting my ear. I don't trust it as well as I should, but sometimes.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What is your stack or your the thing you plug it. What do you call it?
My amp?
The amplifier
Yeah.
head. But what's your setup look like?
I just a few years ago I was looking for a new amp. I'd been playing on a Gallion Kruger because that's what I had grown to love from David Irving, right, in jazz band. That's what I was using. I'm like, man, I love this. It's so good.
Wow.
So I bought a Gallion Kruger when I was going to Del Mar, and I had been playing on it for years. And about 4 years ago, I went amp shopping, and I went to pawn shops. You find some great gear, some hidden gems at pawn shops.
Yeah, man.
So I found a nice Ampeg SVT3 Pro, and got a solid deal on it with the 410s, I think, on the cabinet. So yeah.
Yeah, Ampeg, bro.
Yeah, that's solid, man. So good. So good.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. And then we're talking about David Irving earlier, man. Rest in peace, bro.
Yeah, man. He huge influence. One of my biggest mentors, and I think there's a big group of musicians here in town that will be the first to say that David Irving was their mentor. I mean, he was someone that you can just go to, talk about anything and everything, talk about life.
Yeah.
I know a lot of his former students that kept in touch with him, that would take their kids to him. Every time they had a kid, he was one of the first person they went to go visit. He was just part of the family, great guy. He was a huge loss when he passed.
Yeah, man. We got to play on one of the ferries or whatever as the guitar jazz ensemble or whatever. Did you ever
on
play
the flagship?
Yeah, the flagship.
Yeah, that was fun. That was always fun, man. Going around the port right here.
Yeah. Man, that was fun on the water playing jazz. Yeah. I mean,
trying not to get seasick.
Yeah, exactly. Man, that was fun, dude. Wow, rest in peace, David Irving, man. He played so many instruments, man. He was
very multi-talented. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Solid bassist, solid guitarist, French horn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just watching him conduct the jazz band was just great. And actually, I think his last few years at Del Mar, he took charge of the mariachi group too, which is pretty awesome to see. Yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome to see, man. Golly, David Irving, man. Rest in peace. That's awesome. Oh, man, I had something in mind. So the Phi Mu Alpha, were you part of that one?
Yeah, Phi Mu Alpha Symphonia, yep.
Yeah, do y'all still get together, or what's it like?
I'm not active in any of the current collegiate groups. There is an alumni group that tries to meet up at least once a month. They were actually trying to meet up at the food truck recently, but everybody's schedule post college is pretty hectic. But that's been a big part of my life too, a big part of my growth as a person was the fraternity. Kind of coming out of my shell. I've always been a shy guy, coming out of high school into college, and the fraternity really kind of helped me develop my personality and grow and be a people person. So I get a lot of support from the fraternity guys still, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, right on. So you grew up here in Corpus?
Yeah, pretty much. My family's from Sinton. My mom moved me over here when I was about 9. So yeah, I say I grew up here in Corpus.
Right on. Did you go to high school in Sinton or?
No. So I went to elementary till about 2nd grade. Then I went to Crockett. Then I went to Minger. And I went to Winsill. Winsill changed my life.
No way, bro. You went to Winsill?
Winsill was great, man. Winsill, I think, was probably the best years of my life.
I met... What year? In the 90s?
99.
Mr.
2000,
Peltz?
2001. Mr. Peltz was still there.
Mr. Peltz, bro?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mr. Cadena was there.
Cadena, yeah.
Axel? Axel was there.
Reina?
Mr. Wolf.
Mr. Reina, I think she was a coach at the time. She wasn't a principal.
Maybe not, no.
Wow. Man, so we kind of went there in the same time. Matt, right? Matt, what's his name? You're a music dude. He played the sax.
Oh, Matt Trevino.
Yeah,
man, he's a great guy, man. He's been doing really, really cool. I don't chat with him as much as I used to. That follow him on his Instagram page, and he posts a lot of what he's doing at the elementary where he's at in San Antonio, and he's doing some great things. He's actually, I like bragging on it. Saying that I know someone who's nominated for a Grammy. He's a Grammy nominated teacher.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
That's pretty rad. It's pretty awesome.
How do you be nominated for a Grammy as a teacher?
Yeah,
I never would have thought that.
Yeah,
that's amazing, dude. Yeah, and his posts, they show up on my TikTok because I'm on TikTok, and every time I turn it on, his post is on there.
Yeah.
Well, do you know this person?
Yeah.
Do you want to add this person? Yeah, that's amazing. I don't know, man. I wish I don't know. It seemed like I kind of maybe wanted to try that when I was now thinking back, damn, maybe I should have tried that.
It's funny that you say that, because when you were talking about being a guitarist at Del Mar, there was I feel like a lot of the guitarists, kind of kept to themselves, which was whatever, no big deal. But I feel like a lot of the guitarists did not want to participate in Phi Mu Alpha, which is kind of interesting.
Really?
So it was very, very few of them, but Yeah, I mean, it's a great thing. I mean,
That's so
there's
strange. Yeah, and it seems like guitar is kind of like not up there with like the other instruments.
mhm.
You know what I mean? Like horn
Right, right.
or a wind or string or whatever.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It seems like, and then like even when I would go to Tamu, there was no really huge ensemble for the guitarists, so we had to have some type of ensemble.
right.
So they put us in choir.
Oh,
Like, so that you either go into choir or you go into other some type of big ensemble that you know how to play
right,
drums, wind, whatever.
right.
So we ended up in the choir, in the university choir, like messing up their their sound and everything, and they actually let us go there. Anyway, I don't know, and it seemed and guitar was like one of the later ones to be added to university curriculum.
Yeah, I
It's
think
not.
it's just a small group of people that
It's a
actually go
small group.
for guitar as a main instrument. So
Yeah, there's not. Yeah, I mean it's guitar. It's not loud too. Some people are like, oh, it's not loud enough. You have to be
yeah,
like
yeah.
this. You know what I mean? But I love it, man. Yeah, I love classical guitar, and it's sad that I don't have one right now, dude. I wish I did. And like I was saying earlier, like man, I wish I had my. I need to get a classical guitar
I know.
again.
I was bummed out when you told me you're not playing anymore,
No,
man.
no.
I still so every time I see you, that's what I associate. You know, you on guitar, you
Yeah,
being
dude.
probably one of the best guitarists I've ever seen, man.
My picture's actually on the wall at Del
It
Mar, dude.
is, yeah, still there,
Wow.
yeah,
Still there, bro. Oh my God. And I'm gonna be like one of the black and white pictures
yeah.
that we used to see, right?
Oh man.
Wow, man, those are the days, bro. Wow, so your food truck, how would you say your food truck's doing now? Like, I mean, what's the future for it, or what do you see? Where do you see it going? Or
I don't know. It's going well. I could always be better. It's a tough question for me to answer sometimes. Again, because of what I do, it's so different. You know, my menu strictly is just the sushi. With the space that I have on the food truck, I'm kind of limited to what I can do, so I just stick with the sushi. But with like the success of Martin from Marty McPie's and him going to brick and mortar, and from Hefe's uh, what is it,
street
street
tacos, right?
tacos, yeah, he's in brick and mortar now. And even Rick, Rick from the most, operating out of Riley's, like seeing them and making those moves has made me feel like, all right, maybe that's the next step for Susheria.
Mm.
But I don't know. I'm always back and forth. Like I do Comic Con. I think with what I do, it's almost gimmicky enough that I don't know that a brick and mortar is going to be the way to go unless
Mm.
I expand my menu a lot more than what it is. I think if I maybe do conventions and the Comic Con circuit, around Texas, that might be the way to go. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm just trying to make it through my second year with the food truck. If I can get past the second year, then I might be able to game plan a little bit better. But
Wow.
as of right now, just kind of taking it day by day, week by week.
Do you ever think like maybe it's just something that's not gonna catch on, and like how do you feel yourself like continuing? You know what I mean?
I think about that all the time, right? And that was one of the conversations early on with my old business partner, was that, is it gimmicky? Is it something that's going to be, that can stand alone as like a big food item here in Corpus, or just in general anywhere. But I think it has potential. I think if I can find a way to expand my menu and work my menu, develop a menu around what I'm doing,
Mm.
there's potential for it to continue to grow.
Mm.
But as of right now, I think I just need to get it in front of people as much as I can.
Yeah, right on, man. Oh man, this 30-minute mark. I don't know. Trying to get some sponsors here. So if you guys want to sponsor, you can. This is a spot right here. We'll be talking about your business here. So trying to get the views up. So appreciate you guys for listening, for watching. Eric, thank you for being in the chat. If you're still there, Francesca, thank you guys for being on here. Wow. So your food truck, man. Do you find yourself like talking to mentors or people that like can maybe like help you, or you know what I mean? What type of advice are you given? You know what I'm saying?
I'm giving, honest feedback. So one of the guys so between Martin from Marty McPie's and then Rick from the Most, like those are two guys that I talk to a lot, because they've been through it with the food trucks, and early on with trying to figure out, getting out there, what they need to do to be successful. So I had an opportunity recently to move into a bar. This bar approached me about selling Susheria out of there, and I didn't know if that was the right move. I had just got that spot at Everhart next to Adelpho's, and I really contemplated. I'm like, all right, mate, is this the right move for me right now is this the way to go for Susheria? So Rick was the first person that I called, because Rick was one of the first people that I know that made that move into a bar,
Mm.
selling food from a bar. So he had really really good advice. At the end, his advice was to do it. Just go for it, do it. Figure out how to make it work. But ultimately, I kind of went with my gut instinct and decided that it wasn't the right move. But um, just, I mean, any kind of feedback I can get from those two guys, is always valued and appreciated. When I first started before I got actually Martin was the one who gave me the lead on the first food truck. So he's always there offering solid advice, solid help, any kind of suggestions. I'll be doing some pop-ups next month that is brick and mortar. So they just they're just there anytime I need to just chat about something. If I need a vent, like, I need to figure this out, I don't know what to do, I don't know.
Yeah, man. Well, that's good for you, man. Yeah, I always wonder like about food. It's kind of interesting because like your stuff is new, like it's something different, and I'm just wondering how it could get to, or like it's in a brick and mortar
Yeah.
or something like that. You know what I mean? And it makes me think of like which other type of foods have that are unique. Like how did they do it? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like how did they get there?
I think ultimately, really, it's, a lot of the feedback I get from just people in general is developing my menu around what I'm doing, right? So taking the idea, so Susheria, is taking sushi and taqueria and then combining those two, and you get Susheria, right? So if I lean into the taqueria part of what I'm doing, then I might be able to push forward a little bit more with the concept that I have. But
Mm.
again, it's just getting in front of people, right? Getting
Yeah.
in front of people, getting in front of people, really getting the food out there in front of people.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Wow, you mentioned an apartment complex too. Well, that's I've heard another food truck that I think Rick or somebody was mentioning being like at an apartment complex. So how do you get on there? I mean, is it hard or to
No, a
I
lot of
mean,
times apartment communities like to have food trucks out for the residents, so they'll reach out to
oh,
whichever food truck they want. Um, early on when I started doing it, I got a lot of apartments asking me. So
wow, no kidding.
yeah, so that's usually something that they do. They'll approach the food truck to go out there.
That's a good thing,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
they
yeah,
know about you and
yeah.
stuff like that.
But it's hard. I mean, I will say it's not always the most fruitful. But again, there is some traffic out there. So again, anything that I can do to have my name in front of people, I'm taking right now.
Yeah, I was talking to Rick from the Most. He was saying stuff like that too, like just do places, do things, to talk to
Hmm.
people, network and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Do you feel like networking is an important part?
Networking is the biggest part, especially networking with other people who are doing what I'm doing, right? The food truck, food business, because they're gonna know people who know someone who can help you, get your name somewhere, get set up somewhere, put you in contact with the right person for something.
Yeah, right on. Man, that's good, dude. Wow. Is there anything you want to share?
Mm, I don't know. I didn't think about that.
Anything you
Um,
want to share? We were talking earlier, man, and your journey like is interesting to me. I don't know if you want to touch on that, but some people have like journeys like you don't know what they've been through and why they are where they are.
right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
So we talked about being musicians, right? Early on in our life, and I thought that was the path that I wanted to go down. I'm still doing it, right? But I'm not doing it in the capacity that I was expecting to do it, right? Um, life kind of happened. Life took me down a different path. Started, I don't know. I just kind of, I guess, went down the wrong path, right?
mm,
And so I ended up in a couple of kitchen jobs, and I was kind of at a point where I'm like, yeah, it's kind of fun. It's pretty nice. I like being in the kitchen. Love being in the kitchen.
mm,
And I got a job at Scotobutts with my old business partner, and he suggested, he said, hey, let's do it. We should do a sushi truck.
mm.
And I'm like, yeah, that would be kind of fun doing sushi. But I'm, again, the idea of doing traditional sushi in a food truck in Corpus Christi in the middle of summer, that didn't sound appealing. Like dealing with fish and raw
Wow.
fish. So we started talking about other ways we can do sushi, right? Or how can we do something unique and different
Mm.
that Corpus might appreciate. And so Susheria kind of, that name came about first, and then the idea of the Spanish rice and things like that. And so um, it was pretty fun, like it was nice having a business partner. But again, life happened. I had I'd say that the biggest struggle with doing anything, right, like, is battling the thoughts in your head, right? Like
Hmm.
with anything, right? I mean, you can have the most positive and upbeat outlook on life, right? But still, at the end of the day, you're still dealing with those, I don't want to say demons, but just life, life, dealing with life. How do you deal with life, So
Yeah.
I had a substance abuse problem for a few years. Coming up next month on 2 years clean. Um, Ended up ultimately having a heart attack, and kind of one of those blessings in disguises. I think kind of
Damn.
opens up your eyes to a lot of things. Like just what's important. And my life ultimately was important. Being around with my mom, being around with my friends and my family and all the people who've supported the business so far, and not wanting to let go of the business. So it was a big thing. Something that I think about every day.
Damn. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of people. It's hard. Like it makes me think about one of my uncles. Man, he was like very like he was like crack or one of the bad drugs. Like he always on it, just always, and you can tell like he wasn't in a good spot.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I think it was because of my grandmother's passing that like he just totally just changed, bro. Like he stopped. He's like 9 day.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what? It's so strange to me how some type of event like that can happen, and then just flip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why I was like had had that person thought before, hey, I gotta stop one of these days. You know what I mean? And eventually one of these days shows up in the time in the way that you don't expect.
Right.
And then and then the person decides.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. It's when I mean, I didn't expect, it's one of those, I'm 37, when that happened, I was 30, 35, and still young enough that I felt like, like I can keep doing this and I'm going to be fine. Keep doing this. And nope. I mean, it was just, it happened. And I'm like, I can't do that. I can't keep on that path. It's not healthy, ultimately it's not healthy, and I've been feeling better overall. Again, like it opened up my eyes to a lot of things. A lot of stuff was laid out on the table with me and my partner, and just kind of realized we weren't on the same page, which I think was kind of a good thing.
Oh wow.
And we decided to split ways, and I took over the business, and so again, blessings in disguise, I
Yeah.
guess, kind of.
Yeah. So is it so you guys were partners, right? You're like a partnership.
Right.
Is it difficult now being that you're the sole owner, right?
Right.
Is it difficult now being the sole owner as opposed to two partners?
It is, right. So there's a lot more weight, responsibility. I mean, I'm doing, everything that we were doing together. I'm doing 100% by myself now. I do have help every now and then, on certain things, but it's not as fluid, or it doesn't flow as well as it could with having that partner.
Oh,
Especially
wow.
with him, because he was definitely the sushi guy, right? Like I was the other side of it, the recipe guy, putting things together. He was the sushi guy. Made everything look pretty. So when we went separate ways, it took me a long time to I don't want to say it's not even perfected, but to get my roles to look like roles, to look better.
Oh, wow.
So it's been an interesting process since
Yeah,
then.
that's crazy. Yeah, so is sushi like, because they say the sushi is like one of those arts or whatever. Is it really that way?
Yeah, nope. I mean, I think people expect to have the beautiful presentation with sushi, and that's what I struggle with too, right? Like again, because I'm on a food truck, and I got to work at a pace where I can get the food out fast enough. And I know people expect to wait a little bit at the food truck because everything's coming out fresh. But like, what point do I say like it needs to look perfect and beautiful and have that presentation, but also look like street food? I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
kind of fighting that balance.
Oh, that's tough, man.
Yeah.
Wow. So, well, you were saying that it's changed a lot. Like you were talking earlier, that from when you first started, like the presentation is
Yeah.
a lot different now.
Yeah, even the color of the rice. So the first batch of rice that was made, the rice didn't even look like how it did now. It looked very light in color. And that first batch was like the perfect batch of rice.
Wow.
And batches 2 through like 20 did not come out, anywhere close to that first batch. Yeah, it took a lot of experimenting to figure it out.
To figure out how to make it like that.
How to make it like the first batch, yeah. Because it would either come out too mushy. And again, I've made sushi rice a lot of times, right? But not the way that I'm doing it now. So it took a lot of trial and error to get it to where it is right now.
Oh, that's dope.
And then even more experimenting once I figured out, all right, this is a flavor that I wanted, and how do I get the color to look a little deeper in color, make it look more like Spanish rice. So it's
So the I guess the seasoning you put on it makes it the color that it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, to finally get it there, that makes sense.
Right.
Wow. That's amazing, dude. I gotta try it, bro. So tomorrow you're gonna be somewhere, right? I saw it on your list of the places you're gonna be. Where are you gonna be tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'll be at Fizz over on Airline and Escalade. Yeah.
Cool.
It's a dangerous place to be. I love sodas.
Is it really?
And so the last time that I was there, I had 344 ounces. In the 4 hours that I was there, which is not good.
Which flavor?
So the one that I get, I think at this point it's kind of like a secret menu item. It's called the Dean, but it's a Dr. Pepper base with cream, vanilla, coconut, and salted caramel.
Wow.
It's amazing. I love it.
Wow. So you get to pick the flavors? I haven't been there. I've been wanting to go there. They've actually been there for a while now.
They've been there for, I don't know, about a couple years now, maybe a year or so.
Yeah. That whatever's there usually closes down fast.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they're still open. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and she's the owner, she's super supportive of the food trucks there. You know, she invites, any food truck that's willing to go set up there. I know Martin McPies was there a lot, and Hefez was there a lot. But yeah, you can she has different menu options, different names for her drinks, so you can mix and match or whatever. So
yeah, that's
pretty
cool.
good, pretty fun.
Yeah, so you picked all 4 of those?
No, that one was one that they had together.
Already
Made like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, so you're gonna be there tomorrow, and then Friday, are you gonna be somewhere else? Or
Friday, so that's something I've been struggling with trying to figure out. Yeah, because it's too hot to be setting up at lunchtime, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just baking out there, So I may or may not be out at PetSmart. I'm not too sure, and I may wait for the fall time to start doing more lunch stuff. But Saturday there's a grand opening for a new gym over off of Staples, and I think it's like AE.
Wow.
Gym or something like that. I'll get there Saturday.
Staples in which intersection?
I haven't even looked.
That's all good.
I think it might be
that's good. So
near Holly.
Yeah, so that's another challenge for a food truck, finding spots to like post up and be consistent throughout the week. I imagine. Wow. Well, man, best of luck to you, bro.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. If there's anything else, you got anything else you want to share before you go? How do we find you? Are you predominantly on Facebook or?
Yeah, I use Facebook a lot. I don't post as much to Instagram like I should, but it'll be Susheria CC on Facebook and Susheria 361 on Instagram.
Do you get business through social media? How's social media for you as a business?
It's pretty good. I mean, that's the biggest way that people reach out to me. They'll message me, through the business page, asking if I'm free this day for an event or to set up.
Yeah, that's cool. You're even on Google, I saw.
Yeah.
You're on Google. Did you set that one up too, or?
Set that up. Yeah, we had set that up when we had the location at Snappy's.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I just decided to keep it, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. Susheria. It's definitely unique, and like the logo, the Mexican dude with the Japanese.
Yeah, that was part of the rebranding. So my buddy, again, like the success that I've had so far, is not because of me solely. I've had a lot of support, from the food community and my best friends, So my buddy, before we decided that would be a good logo, he had commissioned a friend of ours to draw that up. And I like having, that's part of like why people recognize me. I have the mustache, very similar to that too. So it's a combination of me and one of our favorite characters from Blood In, Blood Out.
Wow.
And so it kind of stuck.
Which character?
Was it Spider?
Okay.
No, or Magic. Yeah, with the big,
the huge one. Yeah.
So it kind of stuck, and I think it works out. I think it really kind of conveys, the vibe of the business.
So that's important, like the branding, or the branding of the company. It's awesome, man. Yeah. Well, Susheria, check them out, you guys. Find them on Facebook. You guys can be at Fizz on Thursday and on Friday. Check out their Facebook page. Is that where you put the schedule at?
Facebook, yep. Mm-hmm.
Check them out on Facebook, you guys. Thanks a lot for listening to the podcast. Shout out to Maya back there, the producer. Thanks a lot, Eric, Francesca, everybody on the YouTube chat. Thanks for being in there, you guys. Derek, man, thanks for coming into the show. Hopefully, hoping and praying for your business, bro.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. You guys have a good one. See you later.